What if everything you thought you knew about Taurus is only the surface, and deep within you, there is a hidden version of yourself waiting to awaken, a sacred truth that could rewrite how you see your destiny? Stay with me until the final breath of this journey, because today we are not speaking to the world outside you. We are speaking to the force that lives inside your bones, the one that holds, protects, resists, and rises, the one that has slept through too many seasons, waiting for a voice that speaks your language, a voice that understands your softness, your strength, your silence, and the fire you carry quietly. This is not just information. This is remembrance. Close your eyes for a moment and breathe. Imagine soil, rich, dark, ancient beneath your feet. Feel the steady pulse of the earth, the same rhythm that has followed you in every lifetime. Taurus energy is not simple. It is layered like mountains that took centuries to form. It is the quiet devotion of a heart that does not abandon, the power of patience that bends time itself, and the fierce will of a soul born to build worlds and protect what is sacred. Yet, even within this sacred sign of Venus, there are not one, but three mighty archetypes, three sacred pathways, three ancient identities that shape the destiny of every Taurus soul that walks this earth-bound plane. One protects, one transforms, one breaks the rules of reality itself. And somewhere inside you, one of these paths is breathing, waiting, whispering, "I am here. See me, hear me, claim me." So today, we begin a pilgrimage through your essence. We peel back the layers of what the world expects you to be, and we uncover the truth you carry beneath your calm voice and steady heartbeat. Because Taurus is more than determination, more than loyalty, more than earthly beauty. Taurus is devotion made flesh. Taurus is the storm that moves only when destiny demands it. Taurus is the sacred keeper of worth, value, and truth in a world that forgets these things too easily. And as we unravel the three sacred types that live under this sign, you may see yourself in words you never dared to speak. You may recognize an old dream, a past life memory, a part of you that has been waiting patiently, like roots beneath winter snow, knowing that spring always returns. So breathe once more. Relax your shoulders. Feel gravity hold you, not as a prison, but as a promise. Let your heart soften. Let your soul stretch. And trust this space, this moment, this calling. Because only those who carry the ancient strength of Earth stay until the end of a journey like this. And you are here for a reason. Before we walk forward, whisper to your spirit one truth. Say it softly, or write it in your heart. I am worthy of knowing myself. And now, I invite you to plant your intention in this moment. In the comments, speak to the universe and to your own soul. Declare your presence and your readiness. Write, I am grounded, I am powerful, and I am awakening. Let us step deeper now, into the space where logic pauses and intuition takes the lead. Where the outer world fades and the inner world begins to glow like warm embers in a sacred fire. Right here, in this breath, you are not simply listening, you are remembering. Every soul has an origin story, and the Taurus spirit rises from ancient ground, from stories whispered through roots and rivers, from the first breath of creation when Earth herself decided to become form, texture, and devotion. This is the moment where we steady the heart, soften the mind, and align with the truth that has always lived in your center. Feel the energy shift. Imagine sitting beneath a vast sky in the quiet of late dusk, when the world pauses in between day and night. The air still, the earth humming, the stars preparing to reveal themselves. That is Taurus energy, the space between stillness and becoming, the promise inside silence. This is not a sign that rushes to speak. This is a sign that listens, absorbs, senses, and then moves with the certainty of something guided by soul and not by impulse. Every choice comes from depth. Every path is walked with purpose. And every emotion, even when hidden behind calm eyes, is felt fully, deeply, like the earth holds every memory of every footprint ever taken. You see, the mystical tone of Taurus is not loud. It is not dramatic. It does not need to shout to be powerful. Taurus energy is spiritual gravity. It pulls truth down from the clouds and roots it into reality. It reminds us that divinity is not only found in the heavens, it exists in the body, in the soil, in the breath, in the quiet morning moments when sunlight touches skin and life feels sacred even before a single word is spoken. This energy teaches the world that miracles are not always sudden flashes of brilliance. Sometimes, the greatest miracle is endurance, a seed pushing through dark soil toward light, a heart staying loyal to what it knows is true, a soul that grows slowly, intentionally, beautifully. Now, let us speak of the soul of Taurus. Not the stereotypes, not the surface, the soul. Taurus is not about being stubborn for the sake of resistance. Taurus holds steady because it recognizes value. It does not walk away from what matters. It does not abandon what is meant to be nourished. It does not fear commitment because it understands the sacred nature of devotion. Taurus energy is the heartbeat of Earth. It is patience in a world obsessed with speed. It is quality in a world distracted by quantity. It is the art of building, of preserving, of loving with presence rather than performance. When a Taurus soul loves, it does not love halfway. It loves like fertile ground that holds every root, every seed, every dream as something holy. There is also strength here, but not the kind that needs to prove itself to be seen. Taurus, strength is quiet, steady, and unshakable. It is the anchor in the storm, the mountain that remains after years of wind and rain. Some spirits burn bright and then flicker. Taurus burns slow and eternal. Some chase sudden change. Taurus transforms through consistency, through time, through learning that stability is not a cage but a foundation. A Taurus soul knows that anything worth having is worth building, protecting, and fighting for with calm certainty and unwavering heart. And beneath all of that grounded power, there is beauty. Not beauty as the world defines it, but beauty as Venus whispers it. Beauty that is felt. Beauty in touch, in texture, in comfort, in simplicity that feels divine. Taurus finds God in the scent of rain on soil, in the taste of a ripe strawberry in summer, in the softness of a blanket on a cold evening, in music that wraps around the heart like warm honey. Taurus does not just exist in the world. Taurus experiences it fully, sensually, reverently, and in doing so, teaches others to slow down and savor life as if it were a temple. This is the soul of Taurus. A guardian spirit disguised as calm presence, a warrior dressed in gentleness, a creator who molds reality with patience and unshakable faith. And as we move forward, carry this truth with you. You are not slow. You are deliberate. You are not stubborn. You are loyal to what is real. You are not simple. You are grounded in wisdom older than cities, older than names, older than time as humans measure it. And every step you take, even the quiet ones, moves mountains in the unseen world. Let us step into the first sacred expression, the first ancient face of Taurus. This is the Earth Guardian. When you think of this archetype, do not imagine something ordinary. Imagine the one who holds the ground steady when everyone else shakes. Imagine the person whose energy feels like a warm home on a cold night, someone who anchors others simply by existing. This Taurus does not rush, does not crumble, does not chase noise or applause. The Earth Guardian moves with intention, breathes with the rhythm of nature, and stands as a living reminder that true strength is calm, not chaotic. You know the feeling of walking into a space and instantly exhaling because the atmosphere feels safe, grounded, and warm? That is the signature of the Earth Guardian. They carry a peaceful gravity, a presence that silently tells the world, you can rest here, you can breathe here. Nothing will harm you while I am standing. Their loyalty is not a trend. It is a spiritual vow. When they care about someone, when they commit to something, they root themselves like an ancient oak whose roots reach deep and unseen, holding steady through storms that would break lesser spirits. They are the steady hands that build, harvest, and protect. They are the soul who knows that patience is not weakness, but the universe's language for creation. But understand this clearly. Their softness is not weakness. Their gentleness is not passivity. Their quiet presence is not a lack of fire. It is a conscious choice. The Earth Guardian chooses peace because they know war too well. They choose calm because chaos has no power over a soul that is grounded in its own worth. They do not bend to pressure. They bend only to purpose. And when this archetype finally rises to defend what they love, when they lock into a goal, there is no force in this world that can move them unless they choose to move. This is strength in its purest form, strength that does not need to be loud in order to be real. Of course, every sacred energy holds a shadow. Even the Earth Guardian, with all their devotion and steady heart, must be aware of what happens when the desire to protect turns into fear of change. There are moments when holding on becomes clinging, when caution becomes stagnation, when comfort becomes a quiet prison disguised as safety. This archetype sometimes stays where they no longer grow, out of loyalty, out of familiarity, out of the belief that leaving means failure, when in truth, sometimes leaving means evolution. They may resist transformation because the unknown feels unstable, but growth is a journey, not an escape, and their soul is not meant to remain in one season forever. Yet even this shadow reveals a deeper beauty. The Earth Guardian's challenge is to trust movement as much as stillness, to understand that roots can grow deeper even as branches stretch toward new skies. Their mission is not to hold life still. Their mission is to create spaces where life can flourish. They must learn to release with grace, not out of impatience, but out of understanding that endings are not betrayals. They are portals. They are invitations to expand, to evolve, to discover a new grounding inside themselves rather than outside. This archetype is sacred because it teaches the world something humanity forgets too easily. That stability is medicine, that loyalty is holy, that consistent love builds worlds. In a culture addicted to speed, the Earth Guardian whispers, "Slow down." In a society obsessed with proving, this soul gently says, "You are enough." In a world that keeps searching for meaning outside, they remind us that peace grows where presence lives. And when this archetype embraces both groundedness and growth, they become unstoppable. They become the mountain and the river, unshakable yet flowing, rooted yet expanding, peaceful yet powerful beyond measure. Now we enter the realm of the second sacred Taurus expression. This is the inner alchemist, the soul who carries fire beneath the soil, the one who looks calm but moves through life with deep intensity and quiet power. If the Earth Guardian is the rooted ground, this archetype is the lava beneath it, burning, transforming, purifying, preparing for rebirth. The inner alchemist does not just survive experiences. They absorb them, feel them fully, and then reshape themselves through the wisdom gained. They evolve not once, not twice, but again and again until they embody strength that cannot be imitated or taught. It is earned through living, through feeling, through breaking open and rebuilding with grace. This archetype holds presence that others cannot ignore, even if they do not understand it at first glance. They often walk through life with a softness on the surface and a fortress inside, a fortress not built from fear, but from sacred self-knowledge and emotional precision. They understand energy, even if they cannot always explain it. They read silence as clearly as most people read words. They sense truth in the tone of a voice, in the shift of a breath, in the small details others miss. This Taurus archetype loves deeply, protects fiercely, and devotes themselves passionately, but they do so with discernment. Their heart is not a door. It is a temple, and not everyone is allowed to enter. Life for the inner alchemist is not a straight road. It is a labyrinth of rebirth. They experience deep emotional lessons, not to break them, but to refine them. Transformation is not something they chase. It is something that finds them again and again until they become fluent in rising. Others may fear endings, but this Taurus archetype eventually learns to embrace them because they understand that every ending births a new version of self. While some souls cling to identity, the inner alchemist sheds and rebuilds identity with courage and clarity. They trust that what is meant for them will never be taken, only returned in a truer form. Yet within this immense capacity for transformation lies their sacred challenge. They must be mindful not to turn their emotional depth into isolation. Sometimes, this archetype overprotects their inner world. They may carry silent burdens, believing they must be strong alone. They may hold pain privately until it turns into armor, until vulnerability feels dangerous. And sometimes they hold on to relationships or memories that once gave meaning, long after those energies have passed their purpose, because loyalty sits deep in their bones. For them, releasing is not always easy, but release is their medicine, and evolution is their destiny. When they trust that letting go is not a loss but a liberation, they step into their fullest power. The inner alchemist is magnetic in ways they do not always recognize. Seductive without trying, powerful without force, wise beyond their years, they draw people in through an energy that feels ancient and mysterious. They carry a sacred heat, a soulful warmth that others crave because it feels real in a world filled with shallow connection. Their presence teaches others that vulnerability can be strength, that depth can be love, that passion can be holy, and that healing is not a linear path but a spiral that brings us home to ourselves again and again. When this archetype embraces both sensitivity and power, both surrender and resilience, they transform from survivor to creator. They become a living symbol of rebirth, a reminder that even the most intense storms can shape the most beautiful horizons. They are alchemy itself, turning endings into beginnings, turning pain into wisdom, turning fear into devotion, turning life into art. And in this form, the inner alchemist does not simply walk through the world. They elevate it. They bless it with the kind of strength that does not shout, but radiates quietly, undeniably, eternally. And now we arrive at the third sacred expression of Taurus, the one many never expect but feel deeply when they encounter it. This is the sacred rebel. This is not rebellion for the sake of chaos, not defiance born from ego, but a soul born to break false structures and build new worlds. This archetype is the Taurus, who walks into a room and you can sense it immediately. This person is not here to fit in. They are here to shift something. They challenge what is outdated, question what others accept without thinking, and evolve past limitations that once felt unbreakable. Their energy is grounded, yes, but it carries electricity, mystery, and forward vision. They do not walk the path. They create the path. This Taurus does not fear change. In fact, change is their companion, their spark, their spiritual ignition. While others cling to comfort, the sacred rebel reaches for possibility. They understand that life is not meant to be lived inside a tight container. They crave freedom, truth, and authenticity in a way few do. They can love deeply, honor tradition, respect stability, yet still know when something has reached its limit. They are intuitive innovators, artists of reality, dreamers who make dreams tangible. And when they commit to a cause, they do not whisper. They move mountains quietly or loudly, depending on what the moment demands. Their mission is evolution, not permission. Imagine someone who feels the earth beneath them but hears whispers from the future at the same time. Someone who values beauty and consistency, yet refuses to let comfort become a cage. That is the sacred rebel. They follow inner truth even when the world tries to tame them. They walk away from what no longer aligns, even when it hurts, because their soul demands expansion. They do not destroy structures recklessly. They outgrow them. They do not fight every battle. They choose the battles that matter, the ones that shift timelines, the ones that carve a new way forward for themselves and for everyone watching. Yet with such power comes a lesson, a challenge, a shadow to be mastered. The sacred rebel can sometimes burn bridges too quickly. They can confuse freedom with escape, independence with isolation, self-trust with resistance. Their fire can turn restless. Their ability to break away can become a reflex instead of a conscious choice. This archetype must learn that rebellion is most powerful when it is rooted in clarity, not emotion. That stability is not the enemy of authenticity. That discipline is not a limitation, but a tool that turns vision into reality. Their journey is to hold both wildness and wisdom, to know when to uproot and when to nurture, when to break ground and when to build foundation. When this archetype awakens fully, they become a force the world remembers. They create new rhythms, new ideas, new ways of being that others eventually follow. They become examples of what it means to be grounded and limitless at once. This Taurus does not just want a peaceful life. They want a meaningful one. They bring innovation to tradition, freedom to stability, courage to calm spaces. They are proof that Taurus energy is not only steady, it can also be visionary, daring, electric, revolutionary. The sacred rebel is the proof that Earth energy is not static. It evolves, it rises, it breathes change into existence. In their highest form, the sacred rebel becomes a bridge between worlds, rooted in earth, inspired by spirit, guided by instinct, and illuminated by higher purpose. They are the Taurus who remembers that growth sometimes requires disruption, that breaking patterns is an act of devotion, and that following the soul is the greatest loyalty of all. They carry the wisdom of patience and the courage of risk, the grace of softness and the fire of transformation. And wherever they go, life moves, expands, awakens. This is the Taurus, who does not just live in the world, but helps reshape it into something truer, freer, and more aligned with the future that is already calling. Ask yourself, when life gets heavy, do you become the steady ground that others can lean on, the anchor who protects, nourishes, and builds slowly but firmly? Or do you descend into your inner depths and emerge transformed, stronger and clearer each time, using challenge as sacred fuel to evolve? Or perhaps your soul has always heard a voice of freedom, a call to break patterns, reinvent yourself, and walk roads others fear to even imagine. Notice which part of you trust first, the part that guards, the part that transforms, or the part that liberates. Your nature has already been showing you. Every choice you ever made has been pointing to it. All you are doing now is recognizing your pattern, honoring your essence, and stepping into the truth of who you have always been. And remember something powerful, something people often forget. Recognition is the first step. but acceptance is the breakthrough. When you finally embrace your archetype, when you see its beauty and its purpose, you do not become more like the world. You become more like yourself. You soften into authenticity. You rise into clarity. You move into alignment with the reason your soul chose this sign, this body, this lifetime. Because Taurus energy is not coincidence, it is assignment. A sacred mission from spirit to build, evolve, and embody divine worth in a physical world that constantly tests value and patience. So as you breathe in now, feel the earth beneath you as more than ground. Feel it as ancestry, as memory, as a living pulse that has always held you. Taurus is a bridge between heaven and soil, between desire and discipline, between softness and strength. You are the steady heartbeat in a frantic world. You are the calm breath during the storm. You are the gentle hand and the unbreakable spine. You do not rush because you do not need to. You are not chasing existence. You are mastering presence. And when you step into your full Taurus energy, you become both sanctuary and power. You become the quiet force that shifts timelines by simply choosing what you refuse to settle for. Let this be your reminder. You are not behind. You are not late. You are arriving exactly when your soul intended. Everything you planted in seasons of silence will bloom in divine timing. What grows slowly grows sacred. What roots deeply never falls. Trust your rhythm. Trust your voice. Trust the ancient wisdom in your chest that says you were built for endurance, for creation, for love that feels like safety and passion all at once. Your worth is not earned, it is inherent. And as you step into who you truly are, the universe rearranges around your inner truth. So walk forward now with calm confidence, knowing that you do not need validation to shine. You do not need noise to be powerful. You do not need speed to be destined. You are carved from ancient earth and starlight. You are proof that strength can be gentle, that patience can move mountains, that quiet does not equal small. You are a force disguised as peace. And the world will feel it every time you choose presence over panic, faith over fear, alignment over approval. Let this moment be the moment you remember that your soul did not come here to rush. It came here to rise. And as we close this journey, carry this truth with you. Taurus is the soul that blooms even after winter, that holds even when tested, that rises without rushing, that loves without fear, and that transforms without losing itself. Shine with steady fire, breathe with grounded heart, and move through life like the earth was carved to hold you, because in many spiritual ways, it was. You are a divine embodiment of patience, strength, sensuality, and sacred purpose. Never forget your magic. Never shrink from your power. Never dim your worth for a world still learning how to see value beyond noise. If this message resonated deeply, let your spirit continue to expand, to learn, to awaken. There is more wisdom waiting, more guidance, more celestial insight for your path. Continue this journey of soul, astrology, and higher truth. Watch the other videos on this channel, and keep stepping into the most powerful, grounded, radiant version of yourself. The universe is not only calling your name, it is opening doors for you, and your story is only beginning.